President Biden has landed in Madrid, where he plans to attend a NATO leaders summit today. He's expected to push for Finland and Sweden to become full NATO members while keeping the alliance united against Vladimir Putin. Meanwhile, Russia has launched a new deadly attack on civilians in Ukraine, targeting a shopping mall. Let's bring in ABC News White House correspondent MaryAlice Parks, who's traveling with the president, and foreign correspondent Tom Soufi Burridge in Kyiv, Ukraine, for more on this. Tom, I want to start with you. What's the latest on this shopping mall attack?
Well, Diane, there's 18 people confirmed dead, but there are around about 20 people believed to be in that shopping mall at the time when the Russian missiles rained down who are still missing. So the death toll is likely, unfortunately, to rise again. There are many injured, seriously, some of them. It's one of the worst attacks, no doubt about it, that Russia has launched since it invaded this country. President Zelensky underlining once again that it's, for him, a terrorist attack, and he says it underlines the need for even more impressive weaponry from partners like the United States to defend Ukraine's skies.
Tom, we had originally heard that this mall was packed full of people. The death toll, no doubt, still high regardless. But how did so many manage to get out?
Well, the Ukrainian authorities are saying there'll also be an investigation because apparently the air raid siren in that town or city called Kremenchuk, which is in central Ukraine, did go off a number of minutes, according to local officials, before the missiles came in. But Ukrainian officials say, unfortunately, people did stay inside the building. President Zelensky suggesting it could have been much worse. Some people did get out. But like in other parts of Ukraine, people are so used to the war now. The air raid siren warning is on here in Kyiv. I've got my equipment on, but people are still walking around because, sadly, the war is now part of everyday life.
I see. All right. And MaryAlice, Western leaders at the G7 conference met virtually with Zelensky. The group is calling this mall strike a war crime. So have there been any talks of criminal charges?
Yeah, not yet, Diane, but I wouldn't be surprised by that. We've heard President Biden in the past say that he'd be open to that. He wants to give space for international investigators, Ukrainian investigators, to be able to do their work to find evidence of war crimes. Over the weekend, we heard the president tell reporters that he thought these strikes on residential neighborhoods and, like this, the mall, was a sign of Putin's barbarism. We expect to hear much more from the president and these NATO leaders in the next few days when they meet here.
And Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is pushing NATO for some new missile defense systems. So, MaryAlice, what's the alliance considering in terms of new aid to Ukraine?
Yeah, the aid's been kind of divided into three big buckets. Security assistance, and we heard the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan say that the United States was close to finishing a contract for big surface-to-air missile systems. That's the kind of weapon systems that Zelensky's been asking for. But they're also trying to move a lot of humanitarian assistance, food aid announced just this morning. And last, they've been sending money just to help Ukraine prop up its government, be able to do basic functioning. Of course, the Ukrainians have had a hard time with their own budget, so the United States just last week also saying that they will send billions of dollars to help the Ukrainians do basic functioning. So we're going to continue to hear from all of these NATO leaders about how they are sending security assistance, but also that kind of humanitarian assistance to Ukraine.
And Tom, the UK Ministry of Defense now says that Ukrainian forces are continuing to disrupt the Russian command and control in the eastern part of the country. What's the latest on the trajectory of this war?
Well, Diane, that's probably a reference to HIMARS missile systems, really, that the U.S. has now provided to Ukraine, and we've now seen in operation in the war in the east. They allow them to, basically, the Ukrainians to hit targets behind the Russian lines, like command and control centers. And if you knock out a command and control center, you can really limit the ability of an army to operate on the battlefield. But what's worrying, I think, across the country really is in the last few days, to time with the G7 and the NATO summit, Russia has launched an unprecedented number of missile strikes. According to the head of the Ukrainian military, around about 130. We're at the strike which happened on Sunday. This is a residential area. That was an apartment at the top of the building. One man was killed. His wife was seriously injured, trapped inside for hours, and a 7-year-old girl, their daughter, also seriously injured. It really brings home how much civilians are being targeted and hit on a daily basis here.
All right, MaryAlice Parks in Spain, Tom Soufi Burridge in Ukraine. Thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.